The morning is where everything begins. Not the gym, not the office, not the meeting or the deadline or the opportunity waiting for you somewhere out there in the world. The morning, the first hour of your day, the quiet space between sleep and the full force of life demanding things from you. That is where success is built or surrendered. That is where the person you are becoming is either constructed or neglected. That is where the gap between the life you have and the life you want either gets smaller every single day or stays exactly the same. And most people are getting the morning completely wrong. Not because they are lazy, not because they don't care, but because nobody ever sat them down and told them the truth about what the morning actually is and what it is actually capable of doing to every other area of their life. The morning is not just the beginning of your day, it is the foundation of your entire life. And like any foundation, if it is weak and unstable and built without intention, everything you try to construct on top of it will struggle. But if it is strong and solid and deliberately built with the right habits, everything else, your focus, your energy, your confidence, your productivity, your relationships, your results, everything becomes easier, clearer, and more powerful. And today, I am going to give you 12 habits, 12 specific morning habits that the most successful, most fulfilled, most high-performing people in the world have built into the first hours of their day. Not because they are morning people, not because they have some advantage you don't have, but because they understood something that most people never discover until it is too late. Win the morning and you win the day. Win enough days and you win your life. Let me start with the first habit, and it begins before you even get out of bed. The first habit is waking up with intention, not waking up and immediately reaching for your phone, not waking up and lying there dreading the day ahead, not waking up and letting your first conscious thoughts be random, anxious, unfocused noise. Waking up with intention means that the first thing you do when you open your eyes is consciously choose how you are going to approach the day. It means taking 30 seconds before you do anything else to remind yourself who you are, what you are building, and why today matters. It means starting the day as the author of your life rather than a passenger in it. This sounds small. It is not small. The thought you have in the first 30 seconds of consciousness sets the tone for everything that follows. Choose that thought deliberately. Make it one of purpose and possibility and determination, and watch how differently the rest of the morning unfolds. The second habit is getting up immediately when the alarm goes off. No snooze, no 5 more minutes, no negotiation between the you who set the alarm last night and the you who wants to ignore it this morning. Get up immediately. The moment the alarm sounds, put your feet on the floor, stand up, and walk away from the bed before your mind has a chance to talk you out of it. This matters more than it seems, because every morning you hit snooze, you are starting your day with a broken promise to yourself. You are telling your subconscious mind that your commitments are negotiable, that comfort wins over intention, that the version of you who wanted to build something is less powerful than the version of you who wants to stay comfortable. But every morning you get up immediately, you are doing the opposite. You are starting the day with a win, a small win, but a real one, and that win creates momentum. And momentum is everything in the early hours of the morning when the habits that define your life are either being built or broken. The third habit is hydrating before anything else. Your body has just spent 7 or 8 hours without water. Your brain, which is approximately 75% water, is operating in a state of mild dehydration every single morning before you drink anything. And mild dehydration affects cognitive function, focus, energy, and mood in ways that are measurable and significant. Before the coffee, before the food, before anything else, drink water. A full glass, ideally 2. Rehydrate your body and your brain and give them what they need to actually function at the level you need them to function at. This is the simplest habit on this list, and it is one of the most consistently ignored. Most people go straight for the coffee and wonder why they feel foggy and low energy for the first hour of their day. Hydrate first. Everything else works better when you do. The fourth habit is refusing to touch your phone for the first 30 minutes of the morning. This is the habit that most people will find the hardest, and the fact that it is hard is exactly why it matters so much. Your phone is not a neutral object. Every time you pick it up in the morning, you are inviting the entire world into the most sacred and valuable mental space you have. The notifications, the emails, the social media, the news, all of it comes flooding into your mind before you have had a single moment to fill it with your own thoughts, your own intentions, your own vision for the day. You hand the freshest, clearest, most focused version of your mind over to an algorithm that does not care about your growth, your goals, or your well-being, and then you wonder why you feel scattered and reactive and distracted for the rest of the morning. Protect those first 30 minutes. They belong to you, not to your inbox, not to social media, not to the news, not to anyone or anything that wants your attention before you have given it to yourself first. The fifth habit is moving your body. Every single morning, without exception, without negotiation, without waiting until you feel like it, because you will not always feel like it, and if feeling like it is your standard, you will skip more mornings than you show up. Movement in the morning is not just about physical health. It is about mental activation. It is about flooding your system with the neurochemicals that make everything else possible. The endorphins that lift your mood, the dopamine that drives your motivation, the serotonin that stabilizes your emotional state, the norepinephrine that sharpens your focus. All of it released by moving your body. All of it available to you every single morning for free. No prescription required, no expensive supplement, just movement. 30 minutes of real physical effort that changes your brain chemistry and gives you access to a version of yourself that simply does not exist without it. Move every morning. Your body needs it. Your mind needs it even more. The sixth habit is practicing gratitude. Not as a feel-good exercise, not as a spiritual ritual you perform without conviction, but as a genuine, deliberate, neurological reprogramming of how your brain processes your life. Here is the science. Your brain has a negativity bias. It is literally wired to notice, remember, and ruminate on negative experiences more than positive ones. This was useful when our ancestors needed to survive predators. It is not useful when you are trying to build a successful, fulfilling life in the modern world. Gratitude practice interrupts that bias. When you deliberately identify 3 specific things you are genuinely grateful for every morning, you are training your brain to scan your environment for positive information. You are literally rewiring the neural pathways that determine what your brain notices and how it interprets your experience. Over time, the person who practices gratitude every morning sees opportunity where others see obstacles, sees progress where others see lack, sees possibility where others see limitation, not because their circumstances are better, because their brain has been trained to look differently. 3 things, every morning, specific and genuine, and watch what it does to how you experience your days. The 7th habit is reviewing your goals. Not once a week, not when you remember, every single morning. Your goals need to be in your conscious awareness every day if they are going to shape your behavior every day. Most people write their goals down once in a moment of motivation and then put them somewhere they never see them again. And then they wonder why they drift through their days doing things that have nothing to do with what they said they wanted. It is because what we focus on determines where we go. And if your goals are not in your focus, they cannot determine your direction. Every morning, read your goals, not as a passive exercise, but as an active reminder. This is where I am going. This is what I am building. This is what today's choices need to be in service of. That daily reminder changes everything about how you make decisions throughout the day. Opportunities that align with your goals start to stand out. Distractions that don't align start to feel obviously wasteful. Your whole day starts to orient around what you actually want instead of whatever happens to demand your attention in the moment. The eighth habit is planning your day the night before and reviewing it every morning. Successful people do not wake up and decide what to do with their day while the day is already happening. They know before they open their eyes what the most important things they need to accomplish are. They have a plan, and every morning they review that plan and confirm their priorities before the day takes over. This morning review does not take long, 5 minutes. You look at what you planned the night before, you identify the 3 most important things you need to accomplish today, not 20 things, not a list so long it paralyzes you, 3. The 3 things that if you accomplish nothing else today will mean the day was a success. And then you protect those 3 things. You treat them as non-negotiable. You do them before the day gets cluttered with urgent but unimportant demands. You make them the priority they deserve to be. 5 minutes of morning planning saves hours of day wandering, and the person with a clear plan accomplishes in one focused day what an unfocused person might not accomplish in a week. The 9th habit is reading or learning something valuable. Every single morning, even if it is only 15 minutes, even if it feels like a small amount of time that cannot possibly make a significant difference, it does. 15 minutes of reading every morning is roughly 18 books every year. 18 books of knowledge and perspective and wisdom that is building inside you quietly and invisibly every single day. The person who reads 18 books a year thinks differently than the person who reads none. They solve problems differently. They see opportunities differently. They understand the world differently, not because they are smarter, because they are more informed, more equipped, more capable. Your mind needs to be fed every single day, just like your body. And just like your body, what you feed it determines how well it performs. Feed it something valuable every morning and compound the effect over months and years into an intellectual capability that sets you apart from the vast majority of people who stopped learning the moment formal education ended. Read every morning. Learn every morning. Feed your mind something worth feeding it. The 10th habit is cold exposure or contrast showering. I know, this is the habit most people will want to skip, and I understand why. Cold water in the morning is not comfortable. It is not enjoyable in the conventional sense. It is not something that feels easy or pleasant or like something you want to do. But that is precisely why it is so powerful. Cold exposure in the morning does several things simultaneously. It releases a massive surge of norepinephrine in your brain, up to 300% increase, which dramatically improves focus, attention, and mood. It activates your sympathetic nervous system and gives you a level of alertness and energy that no amount of coffee can replicate. And perhaps most importantly, it trains you in the single most important skill for success in any area of life: the skill of doing something uncomfortable on purpose. Every morning you step into cold water, you are practicing the ability to override your brain's instinct to avoid discomfort. You are proving to yourself that you can do hard things, that you can act in the face of resistance, that discomfort is not a signal to retreat, but a signal to advance. That skill does not stay in the shower. It follows you through your day, into every difficult conversation, every challenging task, every moment where the easy thing and the right thing are not the same thing. Start with 30 seconds, build from there, and feel what it does to your morning. The 11th habit is visualization. 5 minutes every morning before the day begins and the noise starts and the demands take over. Close your eyes and see your goals as already achieved. See the life you are building as already real. See the person you are becoming as already who you are. Not as wishful thinking, not as fantasy, but as mental rehearsal, as the deliberate programming of your subconscious mind with the images and feelings and beliefs that will drive your behavior toward making those images real. Athletes have used visualization for decades because the research is unambiguous. The brain does not perfectly distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you visualize performing at your best, your brain is literally rehearsing performing at your best. The neural pathways activated in imagination are the same neural pathways activated in action. Visualize every morning. See yourself succeeding. Feel what it feels like to have built what you are building, and let those images and feelings pull you forward through every challenge and obstacle and moment of doubt the day brings. The 12th habit is the most important habit on this entire list, and it is the habit that makes all the other 11 habits possible. The 12th habit is protecting your morning by going to bed with intention the night before. Because none of this works if you are going to bed at 1 in the morning after 3 hours of mindless scrolling and waking up at 6, running on inadequate sleep, feeling like a version of yourself that cannot execute any of the other 11 habits, even if you wanted to. The morning starts the night before. It starts with the decision about when you go to sleep and how you spend the hour before you do. It starts with putting the phone down and giving your mind a chance to wind down. It starts with the understanding that sleep is not a luxury or a sign of laziness. Sleep is the biological foundation of every cognitive and physical capability you have. Without adequate sleep, your willpower is weaker, your focus is shorter, your emotional regulation is worse, your creativity is diminished, your decision-making is impaired. Every single thing you are trying to do in the morning and throughout the day is harder, less effective, and less powerful when it is being attempted by a brain and body that have not been given the recovery time they need. Go to bed at a reasonable hour with intention, as an act of respect for the morning you are trying to build and the person you are trying to become. Now let me bring all 12 of these habits together, because individually they are powerful, but together they are transformational. Wake up with intention, rise immediately, hydrate your body and brain, protect your mind from the phone, move your body, practice gratitude, review your goals, plan your most important work, learn something valuable, challenge yourself with discomfort, visualize your success, and protect the whole system by sleeping with the same intention you wake with. 12 habits, 12 daily investments in the morning that is either building your success or surrendering it. I am not asking you to implement all 12 tomorrow. That is not how habits work, and trying to change everything at once is one of the fastest ways to change nothing. Start with one, the one that would make the biggest difference for you right now. The one that you know in your gut would shift something significant if you did it consistently. Pick that one and do it every single morning for 30 days, until it is no longer something you do, but something you are. Then add another, and another, building slowly, deliberately, sustainably, toward the full morning that the person you want to become deserves. Because here is the truth about successful people that nobody tells you. It is not that they have more talent or more luck or more favorable circumstances. It is that they have built better mornings. They have decided that the first hours of the day belong to their growth, their development, their goals, and their vision for their life. And that decision, made every single morning and honored with these 12 habits, compounds over months and years into a life that looks from the outside like extraordinary success, but is from the inside simply the result of an extraordinary morning repeated enough times. Your morning is waiting. Build it well.